on.
Yeah.
And I like this kid. Just don't like it for Tottenham Hotspur. I think they would have been better served to. And again, I'll wear it because it's really cool. Like, people who don't know shit about Spurs will say, that's a cool shirt. And it is.
But you're referring to the season shirt with the yellow, not the new one that's unveiled for next year.
No, I am. Yeah, I meant last year's. I meant the one with the white, and it's just that I hate the collar. It's just an awkward shirt. It was almost like they were trying to do too much all at once, when really our greatest shirts ever have just been white with a cockerel on it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I like it. I think it's really a cool shirt, and I love wearing it. But it doesn't really remind me of Spurs. It doesn't speak to our heritage in my mind. And the whole seatbelt thing about our season always falling apart in February, you know, it's a little bothersome. But then again, if we do well in the league, I guess I don't really care. They're going to sell.
So this is the fourth of the 5 home shirts. Do you think the fifth one? I know they just unveiled the new season's shirt. We're already talking about the final season of the contract. Do you think they'll go minimalist and be as plain as possible?
Look, it
would be nice because they've all done it. I mean, Kappa did it. Puma did it in their final season, albeit with a collar. But
white V-neck. That's all I want. But what do you think about the goalkeeper shirt? Chris got it. I think it looks kick ass. I think it looks really hunter green with the stripes around the arms. It's a beautiful shirt.
I think Under Armour ought to go out with a bang, man, and just have like real feathers hanging off the shirt, like a real bird.
Hey, you guys both saw this. The best shirt that I saw this weekend was the Ian Walker pony goalkeeper shirt. A guy at the Brickies had it. I think I pointed it out. It's a horrific goalkeeper shirt, but it's so unusual to see it. Anyway, sorry.
You needed sunglasses. So after the Bell and Hair in the Spurs shop, we kind of migrated back to Ken's neck of the woods in W12 and got cleaned up and put our smart togs on to head back to North London with a stop en route on the tube at Arsenal so that Ken could flip off the Arsenal tube station and he jumped back on to guffaws in the carriage.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, it's funny because my wife said, well, don't people get into trouble for doing that? I said, well, they might normally, but everyone on our train had a bit of a giggle, so they must have all been Spurs fans going home.
Oh, so did you didn't take so you literally, doors opened, you flipped it off.
I said, get out there so I can take a picture. Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
And I'm standing there and the thing goes ding, 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 and I'm like,
he didn't have enough time for a leak.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And so then we got off at... Where did we get off?
Finsbury Park.
Yep. Finsbury.
Yeah,
Finsbury Park, and we had to figure out how to get to Rob White's house, so we just flagged down a cab and did that. And over to you, Sam, for the commentary on Rob White's barbecue.
What a night that was.
What a night.
What an amazing night.
Where to start?
Well, I guess where we start is we thank Rob and Cara White because...
So gracious.
Man, I tell you, isn't that the truth? He is, a wonderful guy. I mean, I think we had him on, we had him on the show, and
with
so
Davey,
Davey, our listeners got to sort of experience a little bit of his grace there. His book is beautiful, and his book, I think it speaks so much to who he is and sort of his approach to life. And this whole thing came about because he offered. I mean, nobody ever brought this up as like a formal idea. It was something sort of organically generated, and he not only offered but was insistent about it. You know how some of the things like, oh, well, hey, I'll do that, and it kind of dies on the vine. But no, I mean, that was not only a sincere offer, but it was his continual follow-up in many respects that made it happen. And I think we had about 20 altogether. I think I would
say I would venture to guess it was a little more than that.
Yeah, but I think it was, but so he lives in Crouch End, which is an absolutely lovely area, and for somebody who hasn't been or spent much time in London, it was just really great to be in a part of London where real people live, like a real neighborhood, not like glitzy West End, and so you go to Finsbury Park. And then you're taking buses. I mean, so it gives you a real taste of a proper London neighborhood, and it's just got so much character. And it's really pretty. The weather was really nice that night, and so I did what you did. I went to Finsbury Park and then took a bus. And so Rob, we people probably heard about this, and we'd made some comments on Twitter about it, and we thought of as many people as we could, friends that we have made along the way, either through the pod or that we've met at matches or what have you. And it was an incredible collection of people. Julie Welch was there. Adam Pally was there. We met our friend Adam Osper, Keith Nicholson, the great Vasconi came down from Birmingham.
The Spurs fanatic.
We met Flav Bateman from the Fighting Cock.
I had a really good about 15-20 minute conversation with him.
Dude, that
he
guy
is stellar.
He's awesome. I mean, I use this term, kind of corny but affectionately. I have such a man crush on that guy. I mean, first of all, you see him and you know it's him immediately. He's got that hat on. What kind of hat is that, Simon? Like, is it? I don't know what.
It's a flat cap, wouldn't it?
Yeah, flat cap, and he just looks the part, right? And I tell you, he sent a text to us says it was lovely meeting him, and if that wasn't, it was so in reverse for us. He's just an absolute gem of a guy. And I told him, I said, I absolutely love your podcast. And I love your podcast because it's just a bunch of mates that just absolutely genuinely love Spurs and are living Spurs. And the show's about your life with Spurs. It's organic. Anyway, he's such a delightful guy. He's very genuine, highly intelligent, incredibly. He's a very modest guy. Anyway, really enjoyed meeting him. And I had a great conversation with Adam and Julie. So Rob did all this work. He came home from work early, put all this stuff together. And if this isn't what the love of our club is all about, sort of in one wonderful evening, the banter was great. As it got dark and it got a little bit cooler, everybody sort of gravitated towards the insides. And in this very beautiful house that they have, in this incredibly just intimate sort of setting, it was just a banter fest, and everybody really got to know each other, and everybody really had just amazing conversations. Like Mark from Spurs Fanatic, a gem of a guy, and just watching him and like Adam Osper go back and forth on stuff and just have these incredibly intelligent, cerebral discussions about Spurs. And
Mark was brilliant, wasn't he?
Boy, and it looks like he's 25 years old.
Yeah.
He's 38.
Yeah. And Adam, too, you want to talk about smart as a whip.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the fact that he forgot a jacket and he was absolutely freezing his balls off.
And you know what? He lives in Brighton. And
made that trip.
Yeah, and Vas was there, and I tell you, Vasconi, just an absolute gem of a guy. We'll talk about him more later because I spent pretty much the whole day with him Saturday. I watched the match with him. And so, look, I don't think the three of us can thank Rob and Cara enough. I profusely apologize the next day because, we had all these people over there, and everybody sort of cleared out of there around 11 or so, and we made a hell of a mess. And they cleaned up, and I'm sure they were up till well late. But we love Rob. We love Cara, and just cannot thank them enough.
I've got two stories coming out of that.
Oh, you guys have tons.
But I found myself, because you can't list them all. I was talking to Julie, and congratulations to her, by the way. No sooner that party kicks off, she gets a call from her agent, and she's just got her biggest book deal ever.
Really?
So she was like, I'm getting pissed. She was so happy.
Can I top up your wine? And
yeah, she was drinking some red wine. But the two stories that I really took out of there were, I'm having a conversation, and it starts off, I'm talking to Theo Delaney. And John Crace comes over.
Ooh,
Guardian writer, ESPN London, the whole bit, right? And he jumps into the conversation. He wants to know how I became Spurs, and we're having a great conversation. And then I turn to my right, and Adam has kind of, elbowed his way into this conversation. And the four of us are going at it for, I don't know, man, it had to be a good 15, 20 minutes. And then our mate Chris from Dallas Spurs, he comes over, he started talking. They wanted to get his perspective on everything. And I'm thinking to myself, how in the hell am I standing in Rob White's house having a conversation with John Crace, Theo Delaney, and Adam Pally?
Yeah, you're pinching yourself. I was too the whole night.
It was unbelievable, and we were. I'm trying not to sound conceited about it. That we were center of attention this whole night. They were really. Everybody was really taken aback that we were there. That we do this podcast, which is, it's a hobby. It really is. It's nothing more than a hobby, but it's somehow become something significant in the eyes of people who don't know any better. That's the best way for me to put it, because it really is something that we just do for fun, and it's taken off. It really has.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the power of the communal love of the club that so many people have, that it brings people together. Like, it's just incredible friendships have been formed.
And unfortunately, Katrina had to work really late that night, and there was no way she was going to make it from her office over in kind of near Oxford Circus all the way up there. I think it's me. I seriously think it's me. I think anything that I'm involved with, she doesn't show up for. Although she was on the podcast. But I talked to her the next day, and she said, when you guys do this thing, and it's important what you guys are doing. Everybody understands you're trying to, raise awareness for the North American supporters clubs and try to build the club over there and all that stuff. It puts you into that inner circle of other podcasters, writers, journalists, TV personalities, and whatever the case may be. It's very overwhelming. It was overwhelming, and I really felt out of
like
place.
You belonged, right?
It was
felt
really,
like you belonged.
It took a while, but after a while, everybody was so friendly and cordial that you forgot who they were in their professional jobs, and they were just guys talking football.
Yeah,
and Rob was so gracious. He had a lot of his dad's trinkets out, boots from the '61 season. Both FA Cup winner medals, European Cup winner medals, league winner medals.
His
Danny Blanchflower's kit, his dad's Scotland kit, top, and Bill Brown's kit. Unbelievable. I'm like looking at all this stuff going, excuse me, I can't believe I'm sitting here looking at this stuff. And then I turn, and there's Rob, and he's just as genuine as ever. And he's, any questions, let me know. And
in a Dallas Spurs shirt, no less.
Yeah, wearing a Dallas Spurs T-shirt.
How could you not love that guy?
I asked Rob if I could take a picture of his medals, because I certainly respected the privacy of what was on show. I don't think that's probably where he would keep that stuff, and I'm sure it was put out for the evening.
Yeah, it was.
And there was certainly nothing over the top about it. It was very subtle. And I asked him, I said, "Do you mind if I take a photo of your dad's medals?" He said, "Sure, absolutely." And he actually took the back off the frame, which was all taped up, and laid it out so I wouldn't get any glare off the glass when I took the picture. And that's just one story of the generosity and what a great host he was. But Chris and Erica got lost, and they were texting me, "We're lost. We're at Muswell Hill roundabout." I had no clue where this. Rob said, "Hop in the car with me. We'll go get him." Boom, just like that. I'm like, "You're kidding? You don't have to." No. Let's do it. And boom, we found them and brought them back. And if anyone, call us old school, but today's generation, probably when they host a party, someone knocks on the door, says, "Yeah, doors open, throw your coats on the bed, and pizza's in the kitchen, help yourself." That's not how you do parties. What Rob did is how you do a party. Yeah. I mean, we didn't have to do anything, and it was just an absolute joy to be there, and the company was fantastic. And we shouldn't forget Canute.
Yeah.
No one's mentioned Canute, but what a character he was.
From Denmark.
Yes.
Norway.
Yes.
Norway.
Yeah.
Hey.
Norway.
And I also want to mention
Canute Henriksen.
Oh, okay. So he was from Norway, right?
Yeah.
It was funny. I was like,
lived in London for 10 years.
Yeah, he's friends with
and
Rob.
he cycles to the first away game in the Spurs season.
Oh my!
Every year.
Yeah, he was a hoot, right? He was a ball. And then another guy who we haven't mentioned, who is another terrific human being, is Keith Nicholson.
Yeah.
And I was, sort of a circle of guys that were talking. And the guy, I always have a deep, I talk so much, so I always have such a great respect for people that don't say much, but when they do, it really means something. And they really have something to contribute. And that dude knows his shit. He's a smart guy. He may not be the guy like me that's always spouting off some, shit left and right. Man, when that guy, when that guy spoke, I listened. He's a lovely, lovely guy, and just very quiet and unassuming. And then he'll say something, and you're like, "Oh, that's really profound." It's really.
Well, the funny thing was, I think early on in the evening, when we were still out in the garden, someone said, "How did you get Brad Friedel on the podcast?" and I just turned around and pointed